Unajua juzi nilikuwa naangalia hii documentary ya BBC ya Blood Parliament na nikajiuliza maswali mingi sana wakati nilikuwa na watch hiyo documentary. Kwa hiyo documentary niliona vitu mingi sana zenye ni very controversial, but nataka niongelee tu kitu moja. Hii kitu ya wabunge kufika kwa gate wakati the demonstrators wamefika kwa gate. There is a group of members of parliament wenye walienda kuwakaribisha. Walienda wakafika hapo kwa gate wakawaambia continue come in. Hata kuna mwenye aliruka juu ya fence ama juu ya gate kafika kwa hao the demonstrators kwa console. Walitoka tu hapo nje kusimama na demonstrators kuambia we are with you, we are supporting what you are doing, so continue, proceed into the house. Pia naambia demonstrators, the common mwananchi mwenye ana demonstrate, mwenye on strike, amekuja kwa bunge to petition parliament to do whatever they wanted the parliament to do, maybe to reject the finance bill. Swali moja nilijiuliza ni huyu MP anaweza kuwa ako right. He's asking he has gone to the demonstrators telling them that he is with them, ako na wao na support Kenya wanafanya, but he was asking them to continue to proceed into the parliament buildings, into the chambers. So my question was this: so he wanted members of the public to go into the parliament buildings to do what exactly? To sit on the proceedings, to sit or to conduct a proceeding of the house, to legislate, to oversight, or to represent who? What exactly was these members of parliament trying to tell the people? When a member of parliament is asking members of the public to go into the parliament buildings, what is that member of parliament expecting the people or the public to do in parliament? To go see where they sit? To do what exactly? Most of those people, or some of the members of parliament who showed themselves at the gate when the demonstrators approached the house, some of them are lawyers. They know the law and they know what they are supposed to do. But they are going to the people, asking them to go into the parliament precincts. To do what exactly? That means when the people have come to occupy parliament, it means the parliament buildings or the parliament is empty. Parliament is empty. It doesn't have people with the capacity to do what they were elected to do. Because a member of parliament should represent these people. That's the reason why these people were elected into parliament, to represent them, so that not every Kenyan will present himself in parliament or herself. That's why we elect one of us from each constituency to represent the whole constituency. You can't expect the whole constituency to present themselves in parliament. That's why we elect one of us to represent us. But the people have decided now they want to just go to parliament themselves and legislate. Then a section of members of parliament are approaching them and asking them to continue going into the house, and they have not resigned yet. What do you take Kenyans for? The first thing these members of parliament needed to do before they asked the people to go into the parliament buildings, they should have resigned first, because they failed the people. They failed to do what they are supposed to do. They failed to do their mandate of representing them. And surprisingly, some of those members, some of the faces you saw sit in the budgets committee. These are the same people who came up with a big budget, but when the financing of the same budget came up, they refused. They are not going to finance the budget. You know, these people are taking Kenyans for a ride. How can you come up with a very big budget and you don't want to fund it? How do you expect to fund the budget? Because if these members had made a smaller budget, or they have they had come up with a smaller budget, Kenyans couldn't have gone to parliament to protest because the finance bill is subjective to the budget. If the budget is a low budget or is a small budget, that means it needs less money. It needs small amount of money to be funded with. So you come up with a very big budget. Then when the financing of the same budget comes on board or to the table, you say, I don't want to finance this budget. What are you telling the people? Those faces you saw at the gate, they sat, some of them sit in the budgets committee. So, but because they want to look politically correct, they will come out and ask the people to protest, to resist, to say no to the finance bill. Then what do you expect? Because budget making is a whole year process which starts immediately after the financial year. After the previous financial year ends. So it starts in August 31st. That's when the circular of the next budget is released. So the whole year, because the finance bill comes at the tail end of the budget making process. So the whole year these people have been contributing, but when it comes, when the people have said no to what they are doing, they try to be politically correct by coming out and asking the public to riot and to demonstrate. Even some of them appeared on national televisions saying that they are going to fund those people to go on the street and demonstrate. They are taking Kenyans for a ride because they know Kenyans, maybe they don't know, I don't know how they take Kenyans. But the fact is, when people are on strike demonstrating, one fact is that the parliament or the people who are supposed to represent them, they have not represented them well. That's why they decide to take up arms and represent themselves, because their representatives have failed to represent them. So the last person to speak should be a member of parliament. So some of them will appear and just look politically correct, asking the people, we are with you. You could have been with us during the budget making process. You could have resisted the big budgets so that we can have a smaller finance bill. But you come, you sabotage the process, then you come out as a clean person claiming that some colleagues are making mistakes on your behalf. Because some of them are looking for positions. Maybe they want to become governors, others want to become senators, others want to become something else, or others just want to be re-elected back to parliament. That's why they come out, try to be politically correct, accusing innocent people of their own mistakes. That's the biggest tragedy of this country, because we have a parliament of flower boys and flower girls. The parliament of this country is everything. If nothing works in Kenya, just know one thing is not working, and that is parliament. It's not even the executive. It's not the president, it's not the cabinet. It is parliament which is not working. Because if the president is not delivering on his mandate, parliament will summon him into the house and ask him questions why he is not performing, or why he is not keeping to his word what he promised, maybe, for example. So if things are going wrong, parliament is the one to take responsibility, because these are the people who can even go ahead and impeach the president. They can summon the president. If he doesn't answer questions, they will give him instructions. If he doesn't want to take instructions, then they will go ahead and remove him from office. So they just want to be like, to claim the cabinet is so powerful. The cabinet has captured parliament. Parliament can never be captured. When you hear somebody saying that parliament has been captured, that person is corrupt to the core. They try to say that parliament has been captured to just baptize corruption, because it's only corruption which will silence some people, because they are just partners in crime. when the executive bribes parliament, and the parliament just takes a bribe and executes the reason of the bribe, maybe a member of cabinet has come out and maybe bribed parliament. Then parliament have accepted the bribe and they have gone ahead to execute the reason of the bribe. Then later on, they appear to the public and tell them, you know what, parliament is captured, parliament is an extended arm of the executive, is an appendix of the executive, parliament is in bed with the executive. What are they trying to tell the people? And those people who are speaking, they are members of parliament. Those are the last people who are supposed to talk about state capture and all that. Parliament will never be captured. That is sanitizing corruption. It means parliament has been corrupted and they have accepted to be corrupted. So they have absconded their mandate or their constitutional mandate and just gone to bed with the corrupt people. These people must come out and tell the people the truth. There is no way parliament can be captured. It is not possible. It can't happen. That is just corruption which is fighting back. When you hear somebody saying that the parliament has been captured by the executive, there is no way the executive can capture parliament, because parliament is much more powerful than the executive. It is parliament which vets all the cabinet secretaries, so they can decide to summon any of them whom they think is not performing. Then they will even go ahead and impeach that member of the cabinet. They can impeach a minister, they can impeach an attorney general, they can impeach the president, they can impeach everybody. So there is no way you can come and say the president is so powerful, he has captured parliament. It is not possible. You are just a corrupt fellow who want to just look good to the public and be politically correct. Stop corruption. Don't tell us that parliament has been captured. Just do your mandate. Do what you are supposed to do. You will hear even members of the Senate appearing on TV shows saying that this government is overtaxing people. What do you mean by government? Because parliament is an arm of government. When you are saying that this government is overtaxing people, is doing this or this, what is your contribution in that? Because you are a member of parliament, you are a member of government, you are part of government, you are part and parcel of government. What are you doing to stop whatever is going on? You just want to sound politically correct, look good to the people, and take advantage of maybe the ignorance of Kenyans and ride on their emotions, telling them this government is over. What government? Executive doesn't come up with tax laws. It is parliament which comes up with finance acts. There is even a law they passed in December called Tax Laws Amendment Act. It is parliament which taxes the people. It is parliament which decides which sector of the economy is to be taxed and which one is not to be taxed, who is exempted and who is not. It is the parliament. It's not even the executive. Don't say the president is overtaxing people. The parliament is overtaxing people, because if parliament wanted to just help the people, or if they wanted to cushion the common mwananchi, they could come up with laws to protect the people. If parliament wanted to protect the person, if parliament wanted to protect the common mwananchi from overtaxation, they could come up with laws to cushion the people. They could come up with laws to reduce overtaxation. It is parliament which overtaxes the people. It's not the executive. So these people should not come out to just pretend to be members of Christ. It is very clear that if something is happening in this government which is not working in Kenya, parliament is 100% responsible for it. Both houses of parliament are not serving anybody. They are just serving their interests. They are not helping anybody. They are just injecting more pain to the people. Let me give you an example to show you why I'm claiming that parliament is not working. Remember, parliament has two houses. It has the National Assembly and the Senate. Senators are members of parliament. So you remember the other day when the deputy governor of Kisii County, the former deputy governor, was being impeached, was appearing before the Senate to try and ask the Senate not to impeach him. There is a young man who came to testify why the deputy governor must be impeached. He said he had bribed the deputy governor with the 800,000 to give him a job. Then the deputy governor didn't give him a job. So he asked the Senate to go ahead and impeach him because he bribed the deputy governor, and the deputy governor didn't do something which he was bribed to do. So they went ahead and impeached him on that ground, but they didn't press charges, or they didn't ask the director of public prosecution to press charges against the person who came up and claimed with his own mouth that he is a corrupt person and he had bribed somebody. They didn't. They just felt pity for him because they ratify corruption. And that is the sad reality of our country, especially the members of parliament. Somebody comes out, it's not an allegation, he claimed with his own mouth that he had given a bribe. They went ahead and impeached the deputy governor on that ground that he was a corrupt person because he had been given a bribe, and he didn't execute the mandate on which he was bribed. So they told the young man, oh, sorry for losing your money, so go home and maybe God will just return your money. They didn't. Okay, they found the deputy governor guilt of bribe or of corruption, but they didn't press charges to implicate either the deputy governor or the person who claimed to have bribed. That is the sorry state of our parliament, because they are a bunch of corrupt individuals. So just know, if nothing is working in this country, if the government is not performing, parliament is not performing, it is the responsibility of parliament to make sure the national executive performs, because according to this constitution, there is nothing like opposition. There is no opposition in the new constitution, in the constitution we are using currently. The opposition was in the old constitution when we had a parliamentary system. But this is a purely presidential system without opposition. There is no opposition. You can go to a presidential contest with your fellow individuals, then you win and you appoint the runners-up into your government. Because this constitution does not recognize opposition. This constitution has the majority and the minority in parliament. Those are the people who are in the opposition. Those are the people who oversights the national executive and any other person, the counties and every other civil servant. It is the parliament. So if something is going wrong, if things are not working in this country, parliament is not working. Impeach parliament. So that's why I'm saying that if we want to make this country to work, it's either we revisit on the roles of parliament and how they are supposed to execute their mandate, or we just do away with parliament, because at the end of the day, it's not helping anybody, because they are also crying just like the common mwananchi. They are the people who are supposed to represent us. To represent us where? That's the question which we need to ask ourselves. Members of parliament, they are legislators, they are representatives. Who are they supposed to represent, and where are they supposed to represent that person? They are supposed to represent us in oversighting the state officers, in oversighting the state offices, starting from the executive through to the judiciary, because the Judicial Service Commission reports to parliament. It can either report to the plenary committee or to the Legal and Justice Committee. So if the country is not working, just know it is parliament which is not working. It's not even the national executive, because if they summon the national executive, they will put them in place and make sure they deliver. And if they are not doing that, then they are failing on their mandate. If the national executive has been summoned and it has not delivered, the same parliament can impeach the national executive. That is the power of parliament which they are not using or which they are misusing. It is only in Kenya where a member of budgets committee will come up with a very big budget, but it doesn't want to fund the budget to get the resources out of the budget. It doesn't want to support the financing of the budget, but they want a big budget, but they don't want to fund the same budget. It's only in Kenya where a member of parliament will sit in the budgets committee as a presiding officer in the budgets committee, allocate money, appropriate money to different government offices, and later on come out to cry that our budget is so big. Why can't you reduce it? You are the person who have allocated this money. What are you telling the people? That they should go in parliament and allocate money themselves? You are the person whom the people have trusted with that mandate to transact on their behalf. Allocate money which the country can afford. You have not done that. Then you come out to cry. What do you expect people to do? To do what? What do you expect now the masses to do? To chase you away or to do what? But the people end up clapping for those people. I said this and I want to repeat it for the sake of emphasis, that every money, the money you see, if like people are not comfortable with the president flying all over the place, going to all different countries, it is parliament which gave him that money to do all that. He didn't allocate that money to himself. It is parliament which gave him that money. So if they don't want him to do that, they will summon the president. And if they can't summon the president, they will even summon the State House controller and ask him questions and tell him that they are not comfortable with what the president is doing. They will summon anybody of the cabinet, but they will just come out and cry just like another person, as if they were elected for no good reason. So I think it's high time for the people of Kenya to hold all these people responsible, because they are misusing public resources and claiming to be angels. This can also be seen clearly from what the former deputy president or the former Mount Kenya deputy president is trying to say or is saying. Mr. Rigathi Gachagua is claiming that this government is the bad government. This government is not delivering, is not doing anything. It has not done anything in this country. Whatever they are doing is just injecting pain to the people. That is according to Mr. Rigathi Gachagua. When you hear him speak, he speaks as if he resigned from government. As if he saw this government is not performing, so he went ahead and resigned from it. This man was impeached, was chased away. He even went to court to defend his position. He wanted to stay in that government, but he's coming out to claim, like, to look like a saint. What is he saying? What is this man saying? Now he's claiming that he's the only person, he has the software of this country, is the person who can salvage this country from the problems they are facing. You are part of the problem. You are the person who created the problem. You can't run away from it, because you didn't resign from government. You were chased away. You didn't do anything unless you come out and point out one thing that you did when you were the substantive deputy president. What did you do? But now you are out here claiming that this government is not doing this. What did you do when you were in office? You are part of the problem, and therefore you can't be part of the solution. So that's how these politicians think law of Kenyans. They think Kenyans don't know anything. You just toy around with their emotions, and they just go ahead and commit the same mistake. You know, the problems with Kenyans is that they work on emotions. They just do things emotionally. They go ahead and create a bigger problem than the problem which they are trying to run away from. So let us analyze all these people. Let us see and find substance on what we are doing with these people we are claiming to be electing. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel as we continue finding out and educating one another on these national issues or the issues which affect us.